Good morning. You guys, I don't even know what's going on here. I took a shower before I went to bed last night and my hair is like trying to curl itself. Bedhead. You guys get to see Bedhead, second video in that we're back. I am taking a moment to skim the cream off the top of a half gallon or 3/4 of a gallon of our raw milk. I think that our sweet little calf that we're calf sharing with is nursing throughout the day through the gate that we have separating her and Minnie Mouse. And because our production has gone down a lot with really no other reasoning behind it. So I think the calf is nursing through the fence. So today we're going to fix that. We're going to address that issue and see if it helps with the production tonight's milking. But for now, I'm going to skim the cream off of a couple of gallons I had sitting overnight. And we're going to make up a bottle of half and half for coffee. And we're probably going to make some butter today too. Yeah. Hi. The little ones are starting to wake up. They're going to start asking for breakfast. Or the 1.5-year-old is teething a bit, so she'll actually probably want a popsicle, which is fine. No big deal. They're sugar-free popsicles. I'm not hugely against some minor rule breaking around here, especially in the morning when I'm just trying to drink my coffee. We got a lot of cream off of just a half gallon of milk. Look at all that. It's not super thick cream, but I think I already took some thick cream off this one. So that's still a lot of cream off of like half to 3/4 of a gallon of milk. Gotta love a Jersey. Come on, little baby. Let's go. Are you mad at me? This calf has such a bad attitude. She's been handled since the moment she came out. In fact, we pulled her out. She hates everybody. She hates being handled. She kicks. She headbutts the gate when she wants to come out. She's just not a happy camper. Well, hello. Hello, Hutch. Good morning. Good morning, prettiest kitty. Yes. Hutch is our barn kitty. Well, greenhouse kitty. He keeps all of the pests out of the greenhouse so that they don't eat the food. You guys, this pasture is, well, every pasture probably in the entire state of Maine right now is just horrendous. You've just got mud build up, hay build up. The tractor was down the last warm spell that we had, so those are refrozen where they are. That's just from us cleaning out the milk stanchion in the calf stall. It's just how hard the ground is. Not pleasant. And now, of course, we're also not set up how we'd preferably like to be set up. There's a lot of changes that will be made when we relocate. And they're just changes that we just can't make here. I am a visual person, and even though it's a farm and I know there's stuff everywhere, I like things to be pretty. Things cannot be pretty where we are right now. So, lots of big plans in the near future. Alright guys, it is 2 days after the footage you just saw. I wanted to talk to you guys about rotation pastures for pigs. So, pasture rotation as a method for pigs is not something that people would usually think about. However, pig grain is getting extremely expensive, and so are piglets. But raising a piglet for your family is still like a lot of meat in just 6 to 8 months. So people still want to do it, people still are doing it, but it's not as affordable. So we're going to talk about what we do and what we're going to continue to do with rotation pastures for the pigs. First, I want to tell you guys that we did end up getting a lot more milk after we made sure that the calf was separated by 2 different pens. So the calf, I think, and Paul thinks, has actually been nursing this entire time, like the entire 2 months, almost 2 months that she's been alive, because we've never really gotten a decent amount, maybe a gallon a day, a little bit over a gallon a day on good days. And I always kind of just brushed it off as being like, she's a first-time cow, first-time heifer to have a calf, she's a Jersey, so, you know, maybe she's just not producing a lot because of those factors. But as soon as we made sure that the calf was separated completely by 2 different ways instead of just 1 gate, we are now bringing in 2 1/4 to 2.5 gallons every night when we milk. So huge difference. And you can definitely tell she's bagged more than she was. Like, it's just all around a huge difference. So that's been really awesome. Now, it does mean that I have to do a lot more processing as far as dairy products go, which is fine. It's I'm getting the hang of it, and I'm getting quicker with it. I do need to make hard cheeses soon, in a couple days. If I get a chance, I'll take you guys along through that. So let's talk. I don't know if it's because she's in heat, because honestly, she moves for attention all the time. We feed her like 3 times a day, plus she has a dry round bale in her pen at all times, and she just does that all the time. So anyways, pig rotation pastures. Now, I also wrote a blog about this, and I'll leave that linked below if you guys want to check that out so you have it in writing to kind of go by, because I talked a lot more about how to really start and decide on how much space you want to use. You don't need to use a huge amount of space. You don't. I didn't use, last year when I did it, it was only doing it for like 4 pigs. And it was not a huge amount of space. And that's kind of the nice thing about rotation pastures, is that you can utilize a lot less space for a lot more animals. Now, the seeds that we use are, we have a big bag of purple top, white globe turnips. And I have a smaller bag here of kale seed. Now, the kale seed is in a small bag because I wasn't sure how I was going to like the rate it grew at with the turnip greens. It did excellent, so I'm going to get actual bulk kale seed to start our pastures this spring. This spring we are bringing in Idaho pasture pigs, and they actually do graze, so this is going to work even better for them. So both turnip greens and turnips themselves, along with sugar beets, are extremely nutritious, extremely nutritious. You can, and this is kind of like an older method. A lot of the older farmers used to do this. They used to use turnips and sugar beets as crops to feed cattle. Well, they're just as good for pigs. And it'll cut down on your grain costs a lot. And it'll keep your pigs busy, which is good because we all know when pigs get bored, they go visit neighbors and, you know, do things they're not supposed to. So, turnip seed, kale seed, that's what we use. That's what we'll be using again this year. And I'll show you guys how the pastures grow this year. We'll walk you guys through the whole thing. I got our seeds. Shop around because I got these like probably a year and a half ago, so prices might have changed. So shop around for the best prices, but I got these off of True Leaf Market. And honestly, I've never used them for anything before. Not affiliated with them at all, but the seeds germinated great. So I think I'll probably just use them again. It was very reasonable as far as pricing. So how much seed do you need per acre? And now 1 acre can be split into like up to 6 pastures for a couple of pigs. So that's a lot of rotation pastures for you to move your pigs around on. And how often you move them is going to depend on how much those pigs in particular eat. They're probably going to clean up the first couple pastures super quick because they're going to be really excited. And it's going to be new food. And then they should slow down a little bit for you. So you can split up an acre into how many pastures you think fit for how many pigs you have. And it's perfectly fine if they do root, because honestly, the pastures towards the end, you'll have turnips actually underneath the greens, which is just another food source, and that's great. So it is fine if your pigs root, because you're just going to go behind your pigs and broadcast the seeds again as soon as you move them, so that you can keep rotating them. And, you know, these pigs turning up the soil, leaving their manure and everything behind, leaving probably some of the greens and roots behind. You're just going to keep feeding that soil and keep using it. And those pigs are going to do that for you. So, it's pretty self-sustainable. This whole thing, this whole system should work just fine on its own. It's kind of just like moving your chickens around, you know? So how many seeds per acre? General rule. So you're looking at roughly 3 pounds of turnip seed and 1 pound of kale seed to kind of real thick broadcast over 1 acre. Now, I think if I remember correctly, I paid somewhere between $30 and $38 for 5 pounds of turnip seed, and I had a few of these little packages. Getting almost 2 acres, just under 2 acres out of this 1 bag of turnip seed, which I think the shipping was pretty high. So if I remember correctly, the 5 pounds of turnip seed was only like 25 bucks, and you're getting almost 2 acres out of it. That's, I mean, how much grain is 25 bucks going to buy you? It's going to buy you 1 bag and 1/4 of a bag, right? Right now where I am, pig grain is $17 or up. Most good brands are like $20 to $24 per 50-pound bag. So it will seem like you are spending a lot, but you know, really, you're getting more food out of that. This 5-pound bag of turnips is going to grow you a lot more than 50, 60 pounds of feed. A lot more. Especially if you give it the amount of time it needs to grow roots underneath and grow actual turnips. So that's when you decide how long you want to let these grow. Both of these will have decent greens ready to feed your livestock, ready to feed your pigs within 20 to 30 days, right? So these are both like 50-day varieties to pick for human consumption. So at like 25 days, you can start putting them on pastures if you want to, and by the time they get to the last like 3 pastures, there's going to be roots underneath for them to eat as well. Or you can wait and you can put them on here at like 40 days, and then they're going to get roots and turnips out of most of the pastures. So that's also preference. A lot of this is preference, but the system has to work for you, for how many animals you have, what type of pigs you have. Different breeds and different types of pigs, heritage breeds, the older heritage breeds, the more commercial breeds, they're all different. They all eat and act different. So adjust this exactly how you are going to need it to work for you. I want to point out about all of the crops that I suggested, the kale, the greens, you could do whatever greens you want, but kale I feel like is the most nutritious. So the kale, the sugar beets, the turnips, all of those grow really, really well in 40 to 50 degree weather, right? And they still germinate and they still grow. So you are extending, especially here, I'm in zone 5, I'm right on the edge of zone 4, but I'm in Maine, and it gets really cold here really quick. Our growing season is super, super short. So these crops give me like a whole month, almost 2 months extra in both directions, into the spring and into the fall, to feed my pigs off of the pasture instead of grain. Right? So that's really cool, and it's going to work really well even for people in the colder climates. Even if you're in zone 3 or 4, this stuff is still going to provide quality feed for your pigs on your farm at affordable prices. So I really encourage you guys to look into the rotation pastures and the pricing of seeds for your pigs. Farming and homesteading, especially with livestock, is all about innovation, and it's all about making things work as things change. Things are always going to change. Pricing on feed and stuff's going to go up and down. Pricing on livestock's going to go up and down. Things are going to change all the time, and it's up to us to just make sure that we can adjust and make sure that we can still do what we need to do to feed our families and our communities. So I hope that this was something that helps. And like I said, if you want to read it on paper or have it, it's on my blog. I'll link that below. I will leave a link to True Leaf Market. I can even leave, I'll even leave links specifically to their bulk turnip and kale seeds, so you guys can just click on it and look at the prices. But feel free to check out other sites as well. And thank you for joining me. I look forward to chatting again soon. Hopefully we'll get to make some dairy products together soon. I have a lot of milk now. 2 gallons a day is a lot of milk to put up. But we're a family of big eaters. My kids, they're just toddlers, but they eat a lot. My husband, he's a 25-year-old guy. He eats a lot. So, we're going to be putting away a lot of butter, a lot of mozzarella in the freezer, so that during garden season, I don't have to be like, oh my gosh, I got to process butter and mozzarella and carrots, tomatoes, peppers, So, I look forward to that. Thanks for stopping in. I hope this helped. Click that subscribe button and head on over to the blog, and if you like the posts that are already on the blog, there's a lot of information already there. Feel free to subscribe there so I can send you emails when I post other informational blogs. And if you are in our area, in the central Maine area, feel free to check out our site now and then to see what we have for livestock for sale. So have a good day, guys, and happy homesteading.